In the vast expanse of the galaxy, where stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across an endless black velvet canvas, there existed a realm known as Zarathia. It was a planet teeming with life forms so advanced that their technology seemed almost magical to those who dared venture near. Among these beings were the Zytherians, a race of towering insectoid creatures whose society thrived on intricate hierarchies and deep familial bonds. At the heart of this civilization stood Queen Velithra, the alien queen, a majestic figure whose shimmering exoskeleton reflected the light of twin suns in dazzling hues of emerald and gold. Her presence commanded respect not just through her regal stature but also through the wisdom she wielded, guiding her people with a blend of compassion and authority. Yet beneath her formidable exterior lay a soul burdened by grief, for the recent Galactic war had claimed the life of her beloved sister, Princess Nyxera. Nyxera had been more than just a sibling. She was Velithra's confidant, her partner in strategizing the future of their kingdom, and above all, her dearest friend. The war, a brutal clash between the Zytherians and the mechanized forces of the Kryll Empire, had left scars on both sides, but none cut deeper than the loss of Nyxera. She had perished while defending a vital energy core, sacrificing herself to ensure the survival of countless innocents. Though victorious, the Zytherians mourned deeply, and no one bore the weight of that sorrow more heavily than Velithra. Every night, under the glow of Zarathia's moons, the queen would retreat to her private chambers. There, surrounded by holographic projections of happier times shared with Nyxera, she allowed herself to grieve openly. Her antennae drooped low, a sign of profound sadness among her kind, and her usually vibrant eyes dimmed to a somber shade of amber. Servants and advisors tiptoed around her, unsure how to console their monarch. Some brought offerings of nectar from the sacred honeycombs, others whispered prayers to ancient deities, but nothing could ease the ache in Velithra's heart. Meanwhile, far beyond the borders of Zarathian space, humanity continued its relentless expansion into the cosmos. Among the soldiers tasked with securing new territories was Captain Rylan Drake, a man whose reputation preceded him. Known for his quick thinking and unyielding determination, Rylan had earned accolades for leading successful missions against hostile alien factions. But behind his confident demeanor lay a man haunted by his own losses. His father, a renowned scientist, had vanished during an expedition years ago, leaving behind only cryptic notes about interdimensional travel. Rylan's latest assignment took him to the fringes of contested space, where remnants of the Kryll Empire still lingered. His squad's mission was straightforward: locate any hidden caches of Kryll weaponry and neutralize them before they could be used against Earth's colonies. What he didn't anticipate, however, was stumbling upon something far stranger, and far more significant, than mere artillery. During a routine sweep of a derelict Kryll outpost, Rylan discovered a sealed chamber buried beneath layers of debris. The door, adorned with intricate carvings depicting scenes of sacrifice and rebirth, resisted every attempt to breach it conventionally. Frustrated yet intrigued, Rylan activated a portable scanner, which revealed faint energy signatures emanating from within. Against protocol and risking potential hazards, he triggered the mechanism that opened the vault. Inside, bathed in an ethereal blue light, floated a crystalline pod. The surface shimmered with patterns resembling constellations, pulsing gently as if alive. As Rylan approached, the pod began to hum, and a soft voice echoed in his mind, not in words, but in emotions conveying gratitude and longing. Without fully understanding why, he felt compelled to take the pod with him, sensing instinctively that it held answers to questions he hadn't even thought to ask. Back aboard his ship, the Stellar Vanguard, Rylan studied the artifact obsessively. He pored over data logs, consulted experts via subspace communication, and ran simulations trying to decipher its purpose. Days turned into weeks, and though progress remained elusive, the captain refused to give up. Little did he know, the pod contained not just secrets but a connection to a destiny that would alter the course of two species forever. As Rylan delved deeper into unraveling the mysteries of the crystalline pod, strange occurrences began manifesting around him. Equipment malfunctioned sporadically, lights flickered without explanation, and crew members reported fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures moving through the corridors. At first, these anomalies were dismissed as stress-induced hallucinations or minor technical glitches, but Rylan couldn't shake the feeling that something, or someone, was observing him. One evening, while poring over ancient Zytherian texts transmitted from a nearby research station, Rylan felt a sudden warmth emanating from the pod. Startled, he stepped back just as the crystal casing split open with a melodic chime. A radiant mist swirled out, coalescing into the translucent form of a woman. Her features bore resemblance to descriptions of Zytherians, yet she appeared distinctly human-like, with flowing hair that shimmered like starlight and eyes that glowed softly with intelligence and curiosity. "Captain Ryland Drake," the apparition spoke, her voice resonating with a harmonious blend of tones. "You have awakened me. I am Nyxera, once Princess of Zorathia." Ryland's astonishment quickly gave way to disbelief. "Princess? But weren't you lost in the war?" Nyxera inclined her head slightly, acknowledging his skepticism. "Indeed, my physical form perished protecting our people. However, before my passing, I transferred my essence into this pod, a safeguard crafted by our finest scientists. My sister, Queen Valithra, believed it might preserve hope for resurrection should peace ever allow such miracles." Her gaze softened as she regarded him intently. "And now, thanks to your actions, I stand before you anew. Tell me, brave soldier, what drives you to seek answers amidst chaos?" Caught off guard by her directness, Ryland hesitated before responding. "I guess I'm searching for closure too. My father disappeared studying dimensions unknown. Maybe unlocking this mystery connects somehow." A gentle smile played across Nyxera's lips. "Then perhaps fate has entwined our paths for mutual redemption." With that, she extended a hand towards him, inviting trust despite their disparate origins. Over subsequent days, an unlikely bond formed between the resurrected princess and the human captain. They spent hours conversing, sharing stories of their worlds, cultures, and personal struggles. Nyxera marveled at tales of Earth's diverse landscapes and humanity's indomitable spirit, while Ryland absorbed insights into Zytherian philosophy emphasizing unity and resilience. However, integrating Nyxera back into active existence wasn't without challenges. The crew initially reacted with suspicion, wary of welcoming an alien entity aboard. Tensions flared when some argued that harboring her compromised mission objectives. Yet Ryland stood firm, asserting that understanding allies could pave the way for lasting peace. To ease apprehensions, Nyxera demonstrated her capabilities by aiding repairs using knowledge encoded within her restored memories. She reconfigured damaged systems with efficiency unmatched by human engineers, earning grudging respect. Humorously, she even attempted cooking Earth cuisine based on descriptions provided by curious crewmates, resulting in hilariously disastrous meals that nonetheless fostered camaraderie. Despite growing acceptance, whispers of dissent persisted among higher command echelons monitoring the stellar vanguard. Orders arrived demanding immediate return to base for debriefing regarding unauthorized extraterrestrial interaction. Reluctantly complying, Ryland prepared for departure, knowing full well the bureaucratic storm awaiting them. Yet unbeknownst to everyone, including himself, events set in motion would soon spiral beyond anyone's control, intertwining destinies further than imagined. For in the cosmic dance of stars, every step forward often reveals unforeseen complexities lurking in shadows cast by light. Upon arriving at the designated rendezvous point, Ryland and Nyxera faced a tribunal eager to dissect the implications of her reappearance. Generals and diplomats from various human factions convened aboard the orbital station Elysium Prime, their expressions ranging from intrigue to outright hostility. The proceedings unfolded in a sterile conference room where holographic displays flickered above a long table, casting cold light onto faces hardened by years of interstellar politics. Nyxera, clad in a flowing gown synthesized from adaptive materials mimicking traditional Zytherian attire, addressed the assembly with poise. "Esteemed representatives of Earth," she began, her voice steady yet imbued with quiet authority, "my return is not merely a scientific anomaly but a testament to the enduring spirit of cooperation between our peoples. Allow me to offer insights that may bridge gaps widened by conflict." Her words sparked heated debates. Some delegates saw potential alliances strengthened by shared knowledge and resources, envisioning joint ventures exploring uncharted galaxies. Others viewed her presence as a threat, fearing technological superiority tipping scales unfavorably during future negotiations. Amidst this turmoil, Ryland stood steadfast beside Nyxera, his loyalty unwavering despite mounting pressure to distance himself politically. The tension escalated when news broke of Queen Valithra's imminent arrival. Having received transmissions detailing Nyxera's miraculous restoration, the alien queen journeyed personally to reclaim her sister. This revelation sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles, Never before had a reigning Zytherian monarch ventured so close to human territory without prior engagement. When Velithra finally descended upon Elysium Prime accompanied by a retinue of royal guards, the atmosphere shifted palpably. Towering elegantly in ceremonial armor etched with ancestral sigils, she exuded an aura of regality that silenced dissenting murmurs instantly. Her gaze locked onto Nyxera, and for a moment, time seemed suspended as sisters reunited after eons apart. Emotions surged visibly under Velithra's stoic facade. Antennae quivered slightly, betraying suppressed joy mingled with lingering sorrow. Approaching Nyxera, she enveloped her in a tender embrace, a gesture profoundly intimate given Zytherian customs typically reserved for private moments. Tears welled in Nyxera's luminous eyes as she whispered heartfelt gratitude for being brought back from oblivion. Witnessing this reunion firsthand softened many hardened stances among humans present. Even staunch opponents found themselves moved by the raw display of familial love transcending species boundaries. Sensing an opportunity, Rylan proposed establishing formal dialogue channels aimed at fostering mutual understanding rather than perpetuating animosity born from past conflicts. Velithra, acknowledging the sincerity behind his suggestion, agreed tentatively. "Let us forge a path illuminated by trust instead of fear," she declared, addressing the gathering. "Together, we shall navigate complexities arising from our intertwined fates." Thus commenced delicate negotiations punctuated by cautious optimism. Terms outlined included exchange programs facilitating cross-cultural education, joint exploratory missions venturing into unexplored sectors, and collaborative efforts tackling universal threats posed by rogue entities like remnants of the Kryll Empire. Humor occasionally surfaced during tense discussions, easing rigid postures. When one particularly obstinate general scoffed at the idea of sharing classified technologies, Nyxera quipped lightly, "Perhaps we should start smaller, like teaching each other recipes less likely to result in culinary catastrophes." Laughter rippled through the room, momentarily dissolving barriers erected by suspicion. Yet underlying currents of unease remained. Whispers circulated about factions within both camps resistant to change, plotting covert maneuvers designed to undermine burgeoning alliances. Spies infiltrated ranks, feeding misinformation intended to sow discord. Each side wrestled internally with balancing openness against safeguarding strategic advantages. Amidst these machinations, Rylan found himself increasingly torn between duty to his people and burgeoning feelings toward not one but two extraordinary women. Interactions with Velithra revealed layers of vulnerability beneath her commanding exterior. Shared grief over losing Nyxera forged an unexpected kinship. Conversations grew longer, touching upon philosophical musings about leadership burdens and hopes for peaceful coexistence. Simultaneously, his connection with Nyxera deepened, evolving from mutual respect into something warmer, more intimate. Shared laughter over failed cooking experiments transitioned seamlessly into quiet evenings discussing dreams deferred by circumstances beyond control. Both queens recognized shifts occurring subtly yet unmistakably within him, reacting differently yet equally invested emotionally. For Velithra, possessive instincts clashed with rational acknowledgement of Nyxera's rightful claim to companionship. She masked inner turmoil beneath regal composure, channeling energies into ensuring negotiations succeeded despite mounting obstacles. Meanwhile, Nyxera embraced burgeoning affection openly, encouraging Rylan to express emotions freely regardless of societal expectations dictating otherwise. Caught amidst swirling dynamics, Rylan navigated treacherous waters guided solely by conviction that love transcended conventional constraints imposed by biology or tradition. Whether such beliefs proved sustainable remained uncertain, shrouded in mists of unfolding drama poised to reshape destinies irrevocably. As diplomatic talks progressed aboard Elysium Prime, tensions simmered beneath the surface. Human delegates debated fiercely over proposed terms, some advocating for aggressive territorial claims while others pushed for peaceful integration. Meanwhile, Zytherian envoys grappled with balancing ancestral protocols against pragmatic needs for alliance. Amidst this cacophony of conflicting interests, Rylan, Nyxera, and Velithra found themselves entangled not just politically but romantically, complicating already fragile proceedings. Rumors spread like wildfire through the station's corridors, whispers of a human captain courting not one but two alien queens. Gossipmongers speculated wildly, painting scenarios ranging from scandalous affairs to power plays orchestrated by cunning royals seeking leverage. While humorous anecdotes abounded, like bets placed on whether Earth cuisine would ever conquer Zytherian palates, The underlying seriousness of the situation weighed heavily on all involved. One evening, during a particularly contentious session, tempers flared when a senior human admiral accused Zytherians of withholding critical intel regarding KRYLL remnants. Accusations flew thick and fast, threatening to derail painstakingly negotiated agreements. Sensing impending collapse, Rylan intervened, his voice cutting through chaos with authoritative calm. "Enough!" he bellowed, silencing the room. Turning to face the admiral, he continued, "We're here to build bridges, not burn them down with baseless accusations. Let's focus on solutions rather than dwelling on past grievances." His intervention diffused immediate hostilities, allowing cooler heads to prevail temporarily. However, privately, Rylan knew that unresolved issues lurked menacingly, waiting for opportune moments to resurface. Later that night, unable to sleep, Rylan wandered onto an observation deck overlooking the vastness of space. Stars twinkled serenely, oblivious to terrestrial dramas unfolding below. Lost in thought, he barely noticed soft footsteps approaching until a familiar voice broke the silence. "You carry heavy burdens, Captain," Valethra remarked, joining him at the viewport. Her presence radiated strength tempered by vulnerability, a reminder of shared losses binding them together. He sighed, running fingers through tousled hair. "Sometimes I wonder if bridging worlds is worth the cost. So much mistrust, so many hidden agendas." She nodded sympathetically. "Leadership demands sacrifices few understand. But remember, even smallest steps forward matter." Pausing, she added softly, "And sometimes, love finds us unexpectedly, complicating everything yet offering solace unparalleled." Their conversation drifted naturally towards personal reflections, revealing depths neither realized existed within each other. Laughter mingled with poignant admissions, strengthening bonds forged initially through tragedy. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the station, Nyxera engaged in lighter-hearted pursuits, hosting impromptu gatherings where humans and Zytherians mingled freely. Games invented spontaneously led to uproarious fun, breaking down barriers faster than formal meetings ever could. During one such event, a young ensign challenged Nyxera to a virtual reality duel, boasting superior reflexes honed through combat training. With mischievous grin, Nyxera accepted, utilizing enhanced sensory perception gifted by resurrection to outmaneuver opponent effortlessly. Cheers erupted as she emerged victorious, prompting good-natured teasing about cheating via advanced physiology. Such interactions fostered camaraderie transcending initial prejudices, planting seeds of genuine friendship. Yet shadows loomed ominously beyond festive distractions. Reports filtered in about clandestine movements suggesting renewed aggression from KRYLL remnants rallying under charismatic leader rumored capable rivaling legendary tacticians. Threatening communiques intercepted hinted at coordinated strikes targeting key installations simultaneously across multiple fronts. Faced with escalating danger, Rylan convened emergency strategy sessions involving top brass from both sides. Debates raged intensely, fueled by adrenaline coursing through veins primed for action. Plans formulated rapidly, assigning roles based on strengths unique to respective species. Humans excelled in stealth operations leveraging adaptability. Zytherians boasted superior firepower coupled with hive-mind coordination enabling synchronized assaults. Throughout preparations, emotional undercurrents ebbed and flowed unpredictably. Romantic entanglements added complexity, forcing difficult decisions weighing personal desires against collective welfare. Would Rylan choose duty over heart, forsaking happiness for greater good? Or would passion override pragmatism, potentially jeopardizing fragile peace painstakingly nurtured? Answers eluded grasp, obscured by foggy futures shaped incrementally through choices made daily. One thing remained certain: whatever lay ahead promised adventure fraught with peril yet brimming with possibilities hitherto unimagined. And so, united albeit imperfectly, humans and Zytherians marched forward hand in hand, ready to confront whatever destiny decreed next chapter hold. Without concluding definitively, story continues evolving dynamically, weaving threads connecting past tragedies with hopeful tomorrows envisioned collectively despite inherent uncertainties defining existence itself. As the alliance between humans and Zytherians prepared to face the looming threat of the KRYLL remnants, tensions aboard Elysium Prime reached a boiling point. The station buzzed with activity as soldiers sharpened their weapons, engineers calibrated advanced tech, and strategists pored over star charts plotting potential attack vectors. Yet amidst this feverish preparation, personal dramas simmered just beneath the surface, threatening to unravel fragile bonds. Rylan found himself at the center of an emotional storm that grew fiercer by the day. Both Nyxera and Vaelithra had made it clear they harbored feelings for him, feelings he reciprocated but struggled to reconcile. One moment, he'd be walking alongside Nyxera through the station's botanical gardens, her laughter like music as she marveled at Earth's flowers blooming under artificial sunlight. The next, he'd find himself in deep conversation with Vaelithra in her private quarters, discussing everything from leadership burdens to shared dreams of peace. Each queen brought out different facets of his personality, leaving him torn between two extraordinary women who deserved nothing less than his whole heart. Complicating matters further was the unspoken rivalry brewing between the sisters themselves. Though united in purpose against the Krwllul, old wounds and new insecurities began surfacing. Vaelithra mastered jealousy behind regal composure, yet Rylan could see flashes of vulnerability when Nyxera recounted tales of their childhood together or spoke fondly of how much Rylan reminded her of happier times. For her part, Nyxera tried to reassure her sister that no competition existed, but moments of playful flirtation with Rylan only stoked Vaelithra's quiet resentment. One evening, during a tense dinner hosted by human diplomats eager to curry favor with the alien queen, things came to a head. Seated at opposite ends of the table, Vaelithra and Nyxera exchanged loaded glances while Rylan sat awkwardly in the middle, attempting, and failing, to steer conversations towards safer topics like interstellar cuisine preferences. When one particularly oblivious ambassador suggested a toast to the future union of humanity and Zytheria, implying marriage alliances, all three froze mid-sip. "I believe Captain Drake has more pressing concerns than matrimonial arrangements," Vaelithra said coolly, her antennae twitching slightly, a telltale sign of agitation among her kind. Nyxera set her glass down gently, her luminous eyes locking onto her sister's. "Indeed. Perhaps we should focus on ensuring there is still a future worth celebrating before debating hypothetical unions." The room fell silent except for the soft hum of ventilation systems. Rylan cleared his throat nervously. "Ladies, perhaps now isn't the best time to discuss." "Oh, nonsense," interrupted General Hargrove, a grizzled veteran known for his bluntness. "If you're going to lead this coalition, son, you'll need allies, not distractions." He winked conspiratorially at Rylan, oblivious to the daggers being exchanged across the table. Rylan resisted the urge to bury his face in his hands. Instead, he stood abruptly, addressing the room. "With respect, General, my relationships are not up for public debate. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have reports to review." With that, he exited swiftly, leaving behind a stunned audience. Back in his quarters, Rylan paced furiously, running fingers through his hair until it stuck up in every direction. How had things gotten so complicated? Just weeks ago, he'd been a soldier following orders, content with simplicity. Now he was caught in a web spun by fate, or maybe sheer bad luck, that tied him to not one but two alien queens whose lives intertwined with galactic politics far beyond his comprehension. A knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. Expecting another diplomat come to lecture him about responsibility, he opened it cautiously. To his surprise, Nyxera stood there, holding two steaming mugs of what smelled suspiciously like hot chocolate, an Earth delicacy she'd recently developed a fondness for. "I thought you might need this," she said softly, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. She handed him a mug and perched gracefully on the edge of his desk. "And perhaps someone to talk to." Rylan sighed, sinking into a chair. "I don't even know where to begin." "Start with honesty," Nyxera replied simply. "You've always valued truth above all else. Why stop now?" He hesitated, then nodded. "Okay. Truth is, I care deeply about both you and Vaelithra. But caring doesn't make any of this easier. Every decision feels like choosing sides, betraying someone." Nyxera sipped her drink thoughtfully. "Love isn't meant to be easy, Rylan. It challenges us because it forces growth. My sister loves you too. I can see it plainly. And while I wish circumstances were simpler, I refuse to let fear dictate our choices." Her words struck a chord. "But what do we do? Ignore protocol? Risk destabilizing everything we've worked for?" She leaned forward, placing a gentle hand on his arm. "We adapt. Together. Remember, resilience defines us, not perfection. Before Rylan could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed ominously as automated voices announced an incoming transmission marked urgent. Without hesitation, he grabbed his communicator and activated the channel. On the screen appeared Commander Zorath, leader of the KRYL remnants. His metallic exoskeleton gleamed menacingly, and his voice carried chilling authority. Humans and Zytherians alike, hear me well. Your attempts at unity will crumble before our might. Prepare yourselves. For tomorrow, we strike. The message ended abruptly, plunging the room into silence. Nyxera met Rylan's gaze, determination hardening her features. It seems destiny has chosen for us. Let's show them what true unity looks like. Word spread quickly, galvanizing everyone aboard Elysium Prime. Soldiers scrambled to finalize battle plans, technicians fortified defenses, and medics prepped emergency wards. In the midst of chaos, Rylan called an impromptu meeting with Velithra and Nyxera. They gathered in a secluded conference room, holographic maps of nearby sectors hovering between them. We can't afford division now, Rylan began firmly. Whatever happens tomorrow, we stand united, not just as allies, but as family. Velithra crossed her arms, antennae rigid. Agreed. Personal disputes must wait. Our people depend on us. Nyxera nodded, extending a hand toward her sister. For once, let's put pride aside. We fight together, for hope, for survival, for love. After a beat, Velithra clasped Nyxera's hand, then turned to Rylan. Lead us, Captain. Show us the way forward. As dawn broke over the station, casting golden light across assembly lines where humans and Zytherians worked side by side, a sense of resolve settled over everyone. This wasn't just about repelling invaders. It was about proving that differences could be strengths, that love could transcend boundaries, and that unity forged in adversity was unbreakable. Yet unknown variables remained. Would their combined forces prove enough against the relentless KRWL? Could Rylan navigate the treacherous waters of diplomacy and romance without capsizing the fragile ship of peace? And most importantly, would victory bring closure, or merely open doors to greater challenges? Answers awaited amidst the stars, hidden within the crucible of battle. Whatever lay ahead, one thing was certain. The story of Rylan, Nyxera, and Velithra was far from over. As the first rays of sunlight pierced through the observation deck windows, casting a warm glow over Elysium Prime, the assembled forces prepared for what could very well be their defining moment. The human soldiers, clad in sleek combat armor, stood shoulder to shoulder with the towering Zytherians, their exoskeletons shimmering like liquid metal under the artificial light. Together, they formed an unbroken line of determination, a testament to unity forged from shared purpose and mutual respect. Rylan stood at the forefront, flanked by Nyxera and Velithra. His presence radiated calm authority, but his heart raced beneath the surface. This was it, the culmination of everything they had fought for, both on and off the battlefield. He glanced at the two queens beside him, each offering silent strength in their own way. Nyxera's luminous eyes sparkled with hope, while Velithra's regal posture masked a vulnerability she only allowed herself to feel in private moments. For the first time, Rylan realized that loving them both wasn't a burden, it was a gift. And it was one he intended to honor. The KRYL fleet arrived as promised, their ships dark and angular against the backdrop of stars, bristling with weapons designed for destruction. As the enemy vessels began their descent toward Elysium Prime, the Allied forces launched their counterattack. Human fighters darted between larger Zytherian cruisers, weaving intricate patterns that left the KRYL scrambling to adapt. Meanwhile, ground troops engaged in fierce skirmishes across the station's outer hull, where gravity-defying battles unfolded amidst zero-G chaos. Amidst the cacophony of laser fire and explosions, Rylan led a daring strike team tasked with infiltrating the KRYL flagship. Accompanied by elite Zytherian warriors and a handful of trusted human comrades, he navigated labyrinthine corridors filled with automated defenses and hostile drones. Every step forward felt like walking through a gauntlet, but the resolve of his team never wavered. Nyxera and Velithra coordinated the larger battle effort from the command center, their combined tactical brilliance proving invaluable. Nyxora's knowledge of ancient Zytherian strategies merged seamlessly with Velathra's instinctive grasp of warfare, creating a synergy that outmaneuvered even the most seasoned KRWL commanders. Through secure channels, they communicated directly with Rylan, guiding him through perilous sections of the enemy ship. When Rylan's team finally reached the bridge of the KRYL flagship, they found Commander Zorath waiting for them. His metallic frame loomed menacingly, crackling with energy as he activated a personal shield. "You should have stayed out of this," Zorath growled, raising a plasma blade. "Your petty alliances mean nothing against our will to dominate." But Rylan didn't falter. Drawing upon every ounce of courage and training, he stepped forward, meeting Zorath head-on. The ensuing duel was a blur of motion, blades clashing, sparks flying, and cries echoing through the chamber. Though outnumbered, Zorath fought with relentless ferocity, forcing Rylan to dig deep within himself to endure. Just when it seemed the tide might turn against them, reinforcements arrived. Nyxora and Velathra, having commandeered a smaller vessel, breached the flagship and joined the fray. Side by side, the trio confronted Zorath, combining their unique strengths into a harmonious assault. Nyxora's agility disoriented the commander, allowing Rylan to exploit weaknesses in his defenses. With a final, decisive blow, Velathra shattered Zorath's shield, leaving him vulnerable. Defeated but defiant, Zorath sneered. "This isn't over. We are eternal." "It is over," Rylan replied, his voice steady. "Your reign of fear ends here." With a swift motion, he disabled Zorath's weapon systems, rendering him harmless. The remaining KRYL forces, seeing their leader incapacitated, surrendered en masse. Back aboard Elysium Prime, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. Cheers erupted as news of victory spread, reverberating through the station like a triumphant symphony. Humans and Zytherians embraced openly, celebrating not just the defeat of a common enemy but the forging of an unprecedented alliance. Diplomats who had once argued bitterly now toasted to cooperation, their glasses clinking in harmony. For Rylan, Nyxora, and Velathra, the aftermath brought clarity. In the quiet hours following the battle, the three gathered in a secluded garden aboard the station, surrounded by blossoming flowers and twinkling fairy lights. The air was thick with emotion as they confronted the reality of their intertwined lives. "I can't keep pretending I don't love you both," Rylan admitted, his voice soft but resolute. "And I won't ask either of you to choose between us. If we've learned anything, it's that love doesn't follow rules, it creates its own." Nyxora smiled, her radiant form glowing brighter than ever. "Love has always been about connection, not convention. Why should ours be any different?" Velathra hesitated, her antennae twitching slightly before she nodded. "Perhaps tradition must bend to accommodate what truly matters. Our bond is stronger than any title or expectation." In that moment, they made a decision, to embrace their unconventional relationship fully, setting aside societal norms for something far greater. News of their union sent shockwaves through both human and Zytherian societies, sparking debates and discussions that would shape cultural narratives for generations. But ultimately, their love became a symbol of hope, a reminder that understanding and acceptance could transcend even the deepest divides. Months later, peace treaties were signed, formalizing the alliance between Earth and Zorathia. Trade routes opened, scientific collaborations flourished, and joint expeditions ventured into uncharted territories, uncovering wonders previously unimaginable. Rylan, Nyxora, and Velathra stood together at the forefront of this new era, their partnership serving as living proof that unity born from adversity could illuminate the darkest corners of the galaxy. Under twin suns, they celebrated their wedding, a ceremony blending human traditions with Zytherian rituals, attended by dignitaries and friends from countless worlds. As Rylan exchanged vows with both queens, tears of joy mingled with laughter, sealing their commitment not just to each other but to the future they would build together. And so, amidst the vastness of space, where stars burned eternal and possibilities stretched infinitely, a story of love, sacrifice, and resilience reached its satisfying conclusion. Not with an ending, but with a beginning, one that promised endless adventures shared by hearts forever entwined.